Every 4 years, the World Cup captivates billions around the globe. Stadiums roar with cheering fans, flags wave high, and the world watches together. But this billion-dollar spectacle had surprisingly humble beginnings. It sprouted from a fierce debate between those who played for love and those who played for money. Long before the World Cup, ancient cultures already had ball games. China's Cuju and Mesoamerican ball games show our timeless love for kicking a ball. Yet the direct ancestor of modern football was codified in 19th century England. Victorian schools and clubs hammered out the rules we still know today. As British sailors, traders, and workers voyaged across the globe, they packed footballs in their trunks. The beautiful game took root from Argentina to India. Soon, nations founded their own football associations. The English FA of 1863 set the standard, and the world converged toward a single set of rules, paving the way for the first World Cup. In 1872, the very first international football match was held between Scotland and England, sparking a new era of national pride and rivalry. Soon, other nations caught the football fever, but without a global organizing body, international matches remained limited and chaotic. When the Olympic Games were resurrected in 1896, football was not on the program, as the focus was on classic athletic events. Football made its Olympic debut as a demonstration sport in 1900 and 1904, but it featured only club teams, not national sides. In 1908, the London Olympics finally hosted an official international football tournament with national teams, marking a major milestone. However, Olympic football remains strictly for amateurs, reflecting the ancient Olympic ideal that sport should be above material gain. Meanwhile, professional football leagues were booming in England and elsewhere, paying players and drawing huge crowds. In 1904, 7 European nations founded FIFA, Fédération Internationale de Football Association, to govern international football. FIFA began organizing Olympic football, but the amateur rule frustrated efforts to field the best players. The British Olympic team dominated early tournaments, showcasing their amateur players, but the world was changing. In the 1920s, clashes over amateurism, broken time payments, and player compensation led to a split within football. FIFA saw the enormous public appetite for top-level international matches that wasn't being met by the Olympics. At the 1924 and 1928 Olympics, Uruguay's professional-laden team won gold, proving the demand for high-quality football. Jules Rimet, the visionary FIFA president since 1921, believed football needed its own world championship, open to all players. Rimet lobbied tirelessly, arguing that a standalone tournament could unite nations through sport better than the Olympics. In 1928, at the FIFA Congress in Amsterdam, delegates voted to create a World Cup tournament, starting in 1930. The decision was monumental. Football would have an independent championship, apart from the Olympic movement. Several European countries vied to host, but Uruguay, celebrating its 100th independence centenary, made an irresistible offer. Uruguay had a formidable team, having won back-to-back Olympic golds, and they pledged to pay all participating teams travel costs. So, in 1930, the first World Cup was set to kick off in Montevideo. But not everything went smoothly. The Great Depression and the long sea voyage deterred many European teams. Only 4 eventually made the trip. Teams like Belgium, France, Romania, and Yugoslavia embarked on a weeks-long ocean journey, alongside Jules Rimet himself, carrying the trophy. The tournament format was unique. 13 teams divided into 4 groups, winners advancing to semifinals. On July 13, 1930, the first World Cup match began, France versus Mexico, in front of a modest crowd. In the 19th minute, Frenchman Lucien Laurent made history with the first ever World Cup goal. His precise kick sent the ball sailing into the net, a moment forever etched in football lore. The tournament was a roller coaster of dramatic matches and upsets. As the dust settled, the final shaped up to mirror a fierce regional rivalry that had brewed for years. The final pitted host Uruguay against neighboring Argentina, a rematch of the 1928 Olympic final. An electric atmosphere gripped the stadium as the teams took the field. Tensions ran high, with fans even crossing the River Plate in boats to witness the clash. The match was a heated contest from the opening whistle. Uruguay triumphed 4-2, becoming the first World Cup champion. The nation erupted in celebrations that echoed across the globe. FIFA president Jules Rimet presented the Golden Trophy, a statue of Nike, to the champions. In time, it would be renamed the Jules Rimet Trophy in his honor. Thus, the World Cup was born, not from ancient tradition, but from a modern struggle to give football its own global stage. The next tournament in 1934 expanded to include a qualifying phase and 16 teams, establishing the quadrennial cycle. But World War II interrupted the rhythm, canceling the 1942 and 1946 editions and pausing the dream. When the World Cup resumed in 1950, it had grown in prestige, with more nations eager to compete. Over the decades, the tournament expanded from 13 teams to 32 and now 48, reflecting football's universal appeal. Television transformed the World Cup into a true global phenomenon, beaming matches to every corner of the earth. The women's game followed suit, with the first FIFA Women's World Cup held in 1991, also driven by visions of equality. Today, the World Cup is more than a sport. It's a cultural moment that brings together billions in shared excitement. The original trophy was retired after being won 3 times by Brazil, but the spirit Jules Rimet championed endures. Looking back, the World Cup originated not from a single event, but from a collision of amateur idealism and professional reality. It was shaped by pioneers like Rimet, who saw football as a powerful force for international friendship and understanding. So every time the World Cup anthem plays, remember, it all started with a bold decision to let the world's best play, regardless of whether they were paid.